I'm going to keep this straightforward because the last thing you need when you're trying to get your home Wi-Fi humming again is another layer of hype. If you're on the fence about swapping out a power cord for your eero system, this review is meant to help you decide whether it's worth the spend, how it actually works in a typical house, and if it's the right fit for you. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First, let's talk about why this decision feels bigger than it is. A broken or missing power cable for an eero router isn't just an inconvenience. It can leave a whole mesh network offline, which in turn drags down streaming, video calls, and any smart home device that relies on a stable connection. The worry is that you might grab a generic charger that either underpowers the unit or, worse, sends the wrong voltage and fries the hardware. Those are the real risks people mention when they hesitate. Will this work with my Pro 6 Plus? Or is a 30-watt adapter enough for a Pro model? That's exactly what I dug into before hitting record. The Vebner power cord is marketed as a one-size-fits-all solution for the entire eero lineup, everything from the original eero to the Pro 6e. It comes with a USB-C connector on one end, a 30-watt power supply on the other, and a 6-foot length that's long enough to reach a wall outlet across a room without creating a tangled mess. Those three facts alone answer a lot of the "will it fit?" question right up front. Now, who should actually consider buying this cord? If you've recently moved and your original eero power brick stayed behind, or if you've had a cord pull and it snapped, you'll need a replacement fast. The 6-foot length is especially handy when you're setting up a satellite in a far corner of a large living room or a home office where the nearest outlet is across the hallway. Another common scenario is when you want to keep the router off a cramped shelf and instead place it on a higher surface. The extra cord length gives you the flexibility to run the cable neatly along a baseboard or behind furniture. For those situations, a dedicated eero-compatible cord saves you the time of hunting for a third-party charger that you're not 100% sure about. On the flip side, there are clear cases where you can skip this purchase. If your current eero power adapters are still in good shape and you have enough of them for every unit in your mesh, you probably don't need a spare. Also, if you're using a different brand of mesh system, say Netgear Orbi or Google Nest Wi-Fi, the USB-C 30-watt spec may not line up with the power requirements of those devices, making this cord irrelevant. Lastly, if you're a power saver who wants a cord with built-in surge protection or a detachable cable for travel, that's not something this particular package offers. Let's get into the practical strengths. The first thing I noticed is the 30-watt rating. All eero routers, including the Pro series, are designed to run comfortably on a 30-watt supply, so you're not underpowering the unit. That means the mesh nodes stay at their advertised speeds and don't throttle because of insufficient juice. The USB-C connector is another plus because it matches the port on the newer eero models, eliminating the need for a separate adapter or a fiddly fit. In my own test replacing a broken cord on a Pro 6, I plugged the Vebner adapter straight into the router, and the unit booted up within seconds, showing a solid connection on the eero app without any warning messages. The 6-foot length proved useful when I moved a satellite to the far side of a 3-room layout. The cord reached the outlet cleanly without having to double back or use an extension. Where the product shows its limits is in the packaging. It's a single cord, so if you have 3 or 4 eero units and you want a spare for each, you'll need to buy multiple packs. The power supply itself is a basic brick, no fancy surge protection, no detachable cable, and no LED indicator to confirm it's actually delivering power. Those aren't deal breakers for most users, but they're worth noting if you're accustomed to a more feature-rich charger. Another minor inconvenience is that the cord isn't color-coded. The cable is a plain black, which can blend into a tangle of other wires if you don't organize it right away. Price-wise, the Vebner cord lands in the low to mid single-digit range on Amazon, which is noticeably cheaper than ordering a replacement directly from eero's official store, where the same adapter can be $15, $20. When you factor in the fact that the cord is fully compatible with all current eero models, the savings become meaningful, especially for anyone who's building a larger mesh network and might need a spare for each node. The value here isn't just in the dollar amount. It's in the peace of mind that comes from knowing the power supply,